There's going to be Northern Fjords. Northern Fjords is kind of interesting. You have a lot of potential strategies on it. It's very wide. It has a very high flight ceiling, but those clouds make strange approaches a definite possibility. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how these teams flare up the clouds.
Absolutely. Starting out with the Bufflehead, piloted by Barrett. It's a gap mortar. We're going to hear that a lot. Flamer and flare support. And the Darkwing Mallard, piloted by
Jason McMorgan.
Jason McMorgan. We have Gat Mortar. Sorry, a big message popped up on my screen there, like, oh dear. Gat Mortar on the front with Flamer and flare support as well. Go ahead, Oracle.
And for the Glowwater Thralls, we have the Crown Tyrant, of course, being piloted by Scrimscraw. Gap Mortar forward, Carronade and Flare on the port side. Aboard the Thank You, Caroline. Much of the same. Gap Mortar forward. Fiasco Total piloting this time. With a Carronade and Flare on the side. Interestingly enough, each Pyramidion has swapped Gatling and Mortar spots, which is kind of important. I'm a big proponent of having the Mortar on the balloon side. But the Thank You, Caroline... Or no, excuse me, the Crown Tyrant has the Gatling there. And already we have shots being fired on the Bufflehead. These first couple of shots are very important, but the Crown Tyrant getting focused down. Double gap may be too much. Mortar is going to come in. Bufflehead getting hit hard, though. Crown Tyrant drops down. Thank You, Caroline. Easy to land those shots on the broadside of a Pyramidion, but now the Darkwing Mallard getting an easy shot on him. Gatlings not quite landing the way they need to on either ship. Both ships' armor holding fairly well. It's going to take another round, but the Crown Tyrant spawns in.
Oh, this is
from behind. Armor's down. 2 Metamidians. Too much. Glowwater Thralls abusing their spawn locations and picking up the first 2 kills for themselves, with only the Crown Tyrant taking 1/3 hull, or down to 1/3 hull.
That was impressive. The fact that the Glowwater Thralls didn't lose a single ship when they were facing up two of these Metamidians. That's impressive. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, the Crown Tyrant did a really good job there. I want to see, like, what does he have? Yeah, he has hydrogen. He decided not to burn his hydrogen, interestingly enough. Instead, he decided to just drop down, sort of coast by them, and make sure that the Thank You, Caroline had good arcs on the Bufflehead and the Darkwing Mallard. And as soon as the Crown Tyrant went by, was able to bring his hull back up. That was it. Like, they couldn't get the kill.
One thing I would like to know is why both the Duck ships didn't really turn in and focus their fire on a singular ship. It really felt like they spread things out just a little bit. Crown Tyrant and Thank You, Caroline are moving in. It looks like Darkwing Mallard's going to be their target. Bufflehead is sitting low. Darkwing Mallard rose up to try and meet Thank You, Caroline, but the Crown Tyrant was right there to meet him as well. Darkwing Mallard is taking a lot of damage. Armor is down. Hull is starting to get hit. Where are the mortar shots? Mortar shots are missing. Some of them are hitting. Armor is back up on the Darkwing Mallard. Thank You, Caroline. And Crown Tyrant, though, not easing up at all. Crown Tyrant has lost its engines.
Crown Tyrant drops down too low. Too low. Darkwing Mallard, though, losing its armor, able to bring it back up. Bufflehead has an easy shot, but a lot of it's missing. Just barely out of range. Greased ammo going to reduce your range, man. Got to be careful about that. Thank You, Caroline recognizes its position. Can't quite get the kill on the Darkwing Mallard. It wanted to try and finish off the kill as it backed up, but those mortars just weren't there. All it will take is breathing on the Darkwing Mallard right now, but the Bufflehead is probably going to be the one to just sort of lead the charge. Thank You, Caroline. Burning that hydrogen to get on out of there. And it's going to be okay. However, that is going to be the first kill. Already we're breaking a trend. The Clamour picking up 1 kill for themselves. 2-1 in favor of the Glowwater Thralls. But this engagement is not over.
Bufflehead is moving right in on the Thank You, Caroline. Darkwing Mallard moving in. They're in gat range as well. The Crown Tyrant is nowhere there. Thank You, Caroline. Sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep. I think... I think that the Glowwater Thralls were trying to sort of do what they did the first time, is send a ship in. Oh, you focus fired it, but you can't land those mortar shots. Lol, 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 lol. But at that point, all that was left was the other ship. I can't even remember. Too many metamidians, man. All that was left was the other ship.
Ground Tyrant and Thank You Caroline are spread out just a little bit. They have some separation going on, whereas the Clamour is grouped up and focused. Thank you. This may hurt. This may hurt the Glowwater Thralls just a little bit, especially if Bufflehead and Darkwing Mallard run straight into the Crown Tyrant here.
Yeah, I feel like right now they should just try and pick one ship off. I'd say maybe even sacrifice the Darkwing to the Glowwater Thralls. Because at this point, if they lose the Darkwing Mallard too early in the engagement, it's just going to be another 2 kills for the Glowwater Thralls.
Right now, live score update from Sacrilege versus Sir. Sacrilege is up 4-2 over Sir over on Imagine's stream.
Really?
That's weird.
Wow. That's Sacrilege stepping up their game. Like I'd say I'd favor the Sky Invading Rhinos in that matchup, but Sacrilege has been practicing their Tukuses off.
Agreed.
I like that word.
This is going to be a very, very interesting tournament. I can't wait to see who are the winners and losers after our third week and trends start to really show up. Sacrilege just won. Ha!
Wow.
Sacrilege just beat the Sky Invading Rhinos. Whose map? What map was that? If Leo Maliki, if you could tell me which map that was, I would greatly appreciate it. I do not have it up in front of me.
You know, I'd say like even after the tournament's done, I'd love to like look at the recording and sort of
it's gonna be fantastic. Crown Tyrant and Thank You Caroline have grouped up back together. Bufflehead and Darkwing Mallard have stayed together as well. They are staying in a tight formation, making sure they have their guns focused. Duel at Dawn. The map was Duel at Dawn.
Oh, I feel like Sacrilege and Sky Invading Rhinos are good in the same places, though.
I would agree.
Like, I understand that, they have slightly differing ship loadouts sometimes, but I feel like they both kind of want that tighter area, though Sacrilege is more used to it, maybe.
Sky Invading Rhinos is a little more versatile. As people who might be more experienced with Twitch will know, these videos are auto-archived on the respective channels for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. So I'm definitely going to go back and see exactly what happened with that matchup.
Yeah, I almost want to do that like before we end the stream.
That's really... There's no time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Thank you, Caroline, the Crown Tyrant, holding towards the south central of the map, throwing out a flare. That's going to give away their position pretty heavily.
I think they're okay with that. I mean, look at the ships. The Glowwater Thralls know that the Darkwing Mallard is damaged. They know that if they get into an engagement right now, they'll win. If they just focus down the Darkwing. They want to get an engagement. They just want to get a full-on engagement. They want to... The most important thing for them right now is that the Clamour doesn't get the jump on them. That's the only way that the Clamour can come out on top in this engagement. Because even if, Clamour starts coming in from one direction, okay, Glowwater Thralls turn and meet them there. But the Clamour... that's what the Clamour are trying to do right now. That's why they're dancing around. All the Glowwater Thralls have to do is stop them. Yeah,
this is a very tense matchup because of the loadouts that were taken. Gap mortars kill extremely quickly. So the first one to kind of leap out and engage is probably going to be the first one to go down.
They're the spots. Both teams know the location of the other, and the Clamour has got to be terrified about this. They're backpedaling. Not too hard, but they're just being very careful right now. You can see that they recognize that they've been spotted. They say, okay, we'll take position in a very open area. Make sure that we can see where the Glowwater Thralls are, and we'll try to reposition slowly.
Yeah, that's actually something else to throw at you there, Oracle. Earlier today... Holy 5-0'd the Merry Men.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that the rust is starting to show. There's definitely, there haven't been a ton of competitive events recently. There's been sort of a drought leading up to this. And so maybe it's the rust showing. I mean, I can't think about what else it could be. I mean, Sacrilege was most active, much more active than Sky Invading Rhinos was before we kind of had the drought. So maybe it's just these teams shaking off rust.
I'm not too sure. I really don't feel comfortable commenting on exactly what might be going on there. I don't think I know, to be honest. But it certainly is interesting to see exactly which teams are stepping up to the plate, as one might say. Speaking of competitive events, as people who follow you will know, you do a Sunday event.
Yep.
Every Sunday. What do you call it?
It's a Sunday community skirmish put on by Velvet, admin by him. Yeah, and it's on my stream over at twitch.tv/4thOracle. It's going to be there every Sunday. I also do a talk show on Friday. First episode happened yesterday.
Last night. Yep, you had Sammy over there.
Yeah, Sammy BT was really interesting to talk to. We talked a little bit about why certain ships are really popular, and specifically, we talked a lot about how to counter the Junker. That was a lot of fun. So if you're interested in meta talk, that's going to be every Friday. And if you're interested in seeing a more casual tournament, you're welcome to come over to twitch.tv/4thOracle tomorrow.
And you're going to have Rada Beef with you on that?
Yep, Rada Beef is going to be joining me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, love casting with him. He's a lot of fun.
Rada Beef from the Overwatch folks.
Yep. At hand, though, in this game, we're finally seeing some movement. Glowwater Thralls. See, this is one of the signature Glowwater Thrall strategies. They love using cloud cover to try and flank. You see the Thank You, Caroline, keeping a bead on these, on both of the Clamour ships right now. The Bufflehead spotted. Crown Tyrant coming around from the clouds. There are no flares in these clouds. This is a big mistake, I think. They're not using those flares the way they need to.
Bufflehead is way out front. This is a huge risk for Bufflehead. Charging the Thank You, Caroline. Crown Tyrant coming in from behind. Both Gatlings hitting. Mortars
Here come
starting.
the mortars.
And Bufflehead is losing hull quickly. The Darkwing Mallard coming in behind Crown Tyrant. Bufflehead is not getting anywhere very quickly.
Beautiful flying, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Crown Tyrant being targeted by the Darkwing now. Bufflehead still reloading. They are desperately trying to repair that ship. Gatling coming in from the Crown Tyrant. There was no armor break on the Tyrant. Bufflehead not looking great. Armor's going to come down any second. Mortar's coming out premature. Oh! Bufflehead able to get its stuff together and finish off the Crown Tyrant. Huge error. Thank you, Caroline, coming around behind the Darkwing Mallard. Gatling going to grind it down 3 for 3, but that's going to put the Thank you, Caroline in a compromising position. Burning hydrogen to give it time to turn its guns into arc. And you definitely want to be above your opponent as soon as you engage. Thank you, Caroline, being a little bit tentative here. It knows that the Crown Tyrant is going to take just a minute longer to get into range of the Bufflehead. Gatling coming down. A lot of it goes wide. Bufflehead going to have a bit of an opportunity here. Its Gatling is landing true.
Thank you, Caroline is definitely in a little bit of trouble here. Bufflehead, though, they're very low on hull. Even if they can get a...
Here we go.
Oh, a lot of those shots. A lot of the shots from the Thank You, Caroline there did miss the Bufflehead, but in comes the Crown Tyrant.
That's what Thank You, Caroline was buying time for, and now the Darkwing Mallard has come in to try and assist its ally,
but
it's too late.
They need to leave.
It's too late, I think. This could be the final meat grind that allows Glowwater Thralls to pick this up. Darkwing Mallard desperately backing up into the clouds, but that's not going to save them at all. The Crown Tyrant and Thank You, Caroline want this kill. Bufflehead spawns in very close, though. Darkwing Mallard knew Bufflehead is going to be rising up, trying to get into range. Darkwing Mallard eating a little bit of fire, but nothing that it can't handle. Bufflehead coming in. Thank You, Caroline, eating fire, but it comes in too hard. Switching focus to the Crown Tyrant, but it burns hydrogen. Gets out of the range of the Bufflehead. Darkwing Mallard's armor's down, and that's going to be it. Glowwater Thralls picks up the victory, 5-3.
Amazing ram action there. Amazing ram action there from the Glowwater Thralls. Oh my goodness, Scrimscraw and Fiasco Total doing an impressive job of managing their crews, getting the clutch shots and the clutch kills when they absolutely need it. That was so close. That was impressively close. That didn't feel like 5-3. That felt like 5-4 3/4.